What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ross back at it again with another video. And Clash in Paris is finally concluded, and I got a lot to talk about. I want to first and foremost give a shout out to the people out there in Paris. Y'all showed up. Y'all brought the energy. All 30,000 of y'all really made this show that much better from an enjoyment standpoint as fans watching around the world, watching at home. Seeing you guys bring that energy was really fantastic. You guys probably will go down as the best crowd for WWE for 2025. And we haven't even got to Monday Night Raw. I'm sure Monday Night Raw is they're still gonna be out there, so I'm sure it's gonna be just as exciting with the crowd atmosphere. But you guys were great, even when there was like some down moments or some matches that weren't really hitting. Like, I'm sure WWE would have won it. Y'all still was able to bring the energy and find something to be entertained for. And I really appreciated that. That was a great viewing experience. So shout out to all the WWE fans out there that was at the show. You guys did y'all thing. Hey. Y'all on it, man. France, y'all on it, bro. Y'all did y'all thing tonight as I expected. So I just want to start the video off talking about that. But we got to talk about everything that went down on the show. I did take me some notes. I'm not going to go into great detail on every single match because there were a few matches I wasn't paying attention to as much, not because I didn't want to, it's because I was actually trying to set up some stuff for the stream. And I'm gonna be honest with you, some of those matches I wasn't really as excited for. You probably know which match I'm talking about, but nevertheless, I'm gonna try to go down through the list of things that I talked about on the show. Well, not that I talked about, what I plan on talking about and what happened on the show. I'm not standing up this time. I gotta sit down and talk to y'all. It's gonna take me a while, but yeah. Started off the show with Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns, and what else am I to say? Roman Reigns got maximum aura out there in France, bro. They love him. I mean, he is a god to them, essentially. When he came out there, crowd went insane. I mean, the first few minutes of the match is just the crowd giving him maximum aura points. First few minutes of the match is just the crowd, Roman Reigns, and just giving Roman Reigns all the aura he can have, I like one aspect that I did like about this match is the fact that Bronson Reed had a great showing. He was countering a lot of Roman Reigns' offense. For the first half of that match, it was really Roman Reigns trying to get any type of momentum, but he would get cut off because Bronson Reed was just this, unmovable force, and he would be able to counter him at multiple points. And then, of course, being the heel that he is, he's making fun of Roman Reigns. He has the shoes on him, the shoe follows on him, and bringing him in the ring to gloat. At one point in the match, he's actually trying to take off Roman Reigns' wrestling boots that he has on, and Roman stops him. And I really liked, once again, just the aspect of Roman didn't go out there and dominate. It took Roman a little bit more to actually take down Bronson Reed throughout the match. There was a sequence where Roman is trying multiple times to hit the Superman punch, but Bronson Reed is able to counter. There is this one move that he hit. Roman is going for the spear, and it seems as if, as he's going for the spear, Bronson catches him, flips him up into like a Batista bomb position, and essentially hits him with like a Batista bomb. And it looked really good, very fluid. I was not expecting that. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Him going for the spear, he catches him, flips him up, and hits him essentially with like a Batista bomb of sorts. That was a nice counter, and Bronson had a good showing. I know some people were expecting, maybe Roman should put him over in this. I didn't think that was going to happen, but he did have a good showing. It took Roman a little bit of time to actually put him away, but ultimately, Roman hit Bronson with the spear for the 1, 2, 3. So after that, Roman gets out the ring. He's kind of celebrating. He stands on an announce table. He's celebrating. And then he sees Paul Heyman checking on Bronson Reed. So he goes back in there. Paul Heyman turns around. He has the shoes around his neck. And, you know, Paul being the sniveling little rodent. Well, I wouldn't even say rodent. He's like a walrus, a sniveling walrus. You know, he's trying to appeal to Roman. He's like, oh, you're my tribal chief. I acknowledge you. Yeah. Roman's like, give me the shoes back. So Paul Heyman gives him the shoes. You know, everything, all is right with the world. Roman got his shoes back. And then he proceeds to attack Paul Heyman, puts him into like his guillotine choke. And Paul Heyman is tapping away. He's passing out, and Paul Heyman passes out. Crowd goes crazy because you love to see Paul Heyman get what he deserves. So after that, you see Roman goes back to like the announce table area, and he gets someone to cut the shoestrings, and basically he starts signing the shoes and throwing them in the crowd. And, you know, and the crowd is obviously going to be happy to get some Roman Reigns shoes. But out of nowhere, Braun Breaker comes to the ringside area on the other announce table, runs across the announce table, spears Roman Reigns through the announce table. Now Roman is done. He's packed up at that point, it looks like. You know, he's drooling from the mouth. He's selling it too. So officials come out there, Braun Breaker tweaking per usual, and he walks out there with Bronson Reed and I believe Paul Heyman. You know, they're trying to make sure Paul Heyman's good. And everyone's trying to help up Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns like, nah, I'm good. But you knew it wasn't over, because Braun Breaker looks back, turns around, and there's a long rampway to the ring, runs full speed, and spears Roman again, destroying him. He's talking his trash. I used to look up to you, but now it's my time. This is my yard. Stay out my way. Just packed him up. Bronson Reed comes out there and says, you know what? Might as well get on the action. So he throws him back in the ring, and Bronson Reed hits a tsunami on Roman Reigns. Now everybody's getting involved. I mean, you got Adam Pearce out there trying to control everything. There's agents, there's security. Roman is in bad shape. They bring out the stretcher. I'm like, oh, they're doing the stretcher angle. And what's crazy about this is Roman was slated to come out there to support Jey Uso. I think Michael Cole before the show said, I don't know if it was Michael Cole or somebody said before the show that Roman was going to walk out there and be in Jey Uso's corner. So a lot of people were speculating maybe something was going to happen there. But no, that was not the case. They brought out the stretcher, put him on the stretcher in the ring. Bronson Reed said, nah, that ain't enough. Comes out there, hits him with another tsunami. Then finally, out of nowhere, Jay comes out there with no weapons, might I add. Jay comes out there and he's fighting off Bronson Reed. He's fighting off Braun Breaker. He's doing all he can, but it doesn't matter because he eats a spear from Braun Breaker himself. And then Bronson Reed comes back and goes up again to the top rope and hits another tsunami. And that is 3 tsunamis. And this time, Roman obviously can't move because he's restrained on the stretcher. He can't move. He couldn't move the second time, and he couldn't move the third time. He was just packed up. Jay is essentially useless. He came out there to help the motherfucker, and he was late, like 15 minutes late. Roman is getting packed up only to come out there, and you still get packed up. Get him out of here, bro. Get Jay out of here, bro. What are we doing? So Roman's selling it. He's bleeding from the mouth. It's safe to say we ain't gonna see Roman until probably fucking Survivor Series. And it's crazy because they do this all the time with Roman. Every time Roman has to go away, the only thing they can do is essentially beat him up into oblivion, and then he disappears. Every time they do that. They've been doing that for years at this, it seems like. Anytime Roman comes back, he gets beat up afterwards, after a match or whatever, gets beat up to oblivion, and we don't see him for a while. And then he comes back in Aura Farms. So that's most likely going to happen. We may not see him probably until Survivor Series. So, all right, well, We'll see you later, Roman. Thanks for showing up, bro. Have fun on your yacht in Paris. Or, well, no, I don't think they're in Paris, but have fun on your yacht in France. Wherever you at, man. Have fun. So, after that, Adam Pearce is pissed. He's like, you know what? You guys went too far, so you guys are leaving the arena. Y'all not going to be out there for Seth's match. I'm not having this. You guys are leaving the arena, and if you come back, I'm going to suspend you without pay. So they were removed from the arena, which means Seth Rollins was going to have some type of backup plan now that he was going to be riding solo dolo in the Fatal 4-Way match. And obviously we find out what that backup plan ends up being. Overall, solid match. Enjoyed the first match. It was a great way to get the show started. Crowd was into it. That beatdown, hella excessive, but hella entertaining. And yeah, we'll see Roman probably at Survivor Series at some point. But fun match, and enjoyed that. The next match after that was the WYATT 6 versus the Street Profits for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And like I said, at this point, it wasn't that I didn't want to watch the match. It's because I was actually trying to get Dub into the stream. Because if y'all don't know, Dub's PC finally gave up on him today. As he started the stream, everything was good. PC turned off and wouldn't turn back on. So he was trying to find a way to get onto the stream. So that's what we were doing for like the next two matches. So I didn't really take too many notes. There were some points that I, was catching. Crowd was enjoying, what they were seeing. But the most noticeable thing I remember at the beginning of the match that I wanted to really kind of talk about, Angelo Dawkins, actually Montez is in the ring. And it looks like Montez is about to start the match. But Angelo Dawkins tags himself in. And Montez looks at him. And I was like, uh-oh. They're starting something here. They planted the seeds. And now they're starting something here. So Angelo gets some good offense in. And then as he walks, he's not purposely like walking back to his corner, but he's in that area. That's when Montez Ford forcibly, with a lot of force, he tags himself in. And it wasn't like no normal tag me in. He put some stank on it. He put some extra force on the tag in. And Angelo Dawkins is looking at him. I'm like, uh-oh. There's dissension here. There's dissension here. So you can see that's the greater story, the greater overall arching story in this match. It wasn't them winning, because we knew most likely that they weren't going to win. But what was the story to tell is, how are they going to interact with each other when they lose? And we already started seeing a little bit of tension there, because you never really see that from them. So I did appreciate that being the outcome, in the sense of, we know this is going to be a predictable match, but let's see what story they tell with just Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. Seemed like a solid match. Towards the end, what's her name? Nikki Ash. Well, she went by Nikki Ash, but she was under the ring. She was holding Montez Ford's foot. Ref didn't see it. And then that's when Uncle Howdy gets involved, hits Sister Abigail, and ref once again doesn't see it. Hits Sister Abigail onto the floor. They throw him back into the ring, and ultimately that's how they win. I mean, I would assume that the WYATT 6 are essentially heels, spooky heels, I guess, but it made sense. The question now coming out of this is, who the WYATT 6 going to feud with next, and also, when are they going to do the turn? Somebody's turning on someone, or split of the Street Profits. So we'll see how that plays out. But overall, it was okay. It was solid. Next, NIKKI versus Becky Lynch for the women's IC title. I took no notes. I literally have in my notes just NIKKI versus Becky. Still was trying to deal with some technical issues to get Dub into the stream. I was looking, I'm listening to it in the background. I'm seeing some stuff. The most interesting thing about this entire match is Becky. Becky was getting cheered. She's the heel, and she was getting cheered. I think that kind of lets you know where this match stood for me personally. I mean, this was a glorified Monday Night Raw match. I'm gonna be honest with you. And even with that crowd, they had energy for Becky. They showed Becky some love, but you can tell they were just having a fun time. But there wasn't much there. I ain't gonna lie to you. I really didn't watch this match other than I would hear the crowd chant for Becky. So y'all let me know if y'all enjoyed this match. And I know some of y'all are like, how could you review the show? I wasn't really invested. Someone commented, even if you was watching the match, you probably still wouldn't have been invested, Ross. I wasn't invested in going into this. This seemed like a one and done situation. Seemed like just to, put a match on the card. I think you could have filled it with something else potentially. But yeah, I really was not invested in this match. But I am invested in something that they may be teasing that is involving Becky Lynch in the future, the near future. We're going to talk about that as I get to the end of the review. But overall, didn't care. I didn't even take notes. My bad, y'all. I'm sorry. So, hey, if you enjoyed this match, let me know down below in the comments. Next, I'm going to be honest. I think this was match of the night for me. RUSEV versus SHEAMUS in the good old-fashioned Donnybrook match. This was everything I wanted it to be. This was entertaining. This was hard-hitting. This was brutal. Everything that I wanted this match to be, it was spot on. I enjoyed this. Crowd was electric for this match. This was fantastic. This was the best match of the night. Knocked it out the park. I was expecting the Fatal 4-Way to be. No, it's this one. This was the best match of the night for me personally. I mean, they started off the match just throwing hands. Just throwing fisticuffs, not holding back. RUSEV was hitting SHEAMUS with his own 10 beats, where he has the opponent on the wrist, on the ropes. He was hitting SHEAMUS with his own signature move. At one point, SHEAMUS jumped from like the top rope, and RUSEV hit him with a brutal baseball-like shot with the kendo stick to the rib section. They had set up a table on the outside, so you knew someone was gonna fall through it. The question was where. They had these barrels set up, and it looked like RUSEV is trying to make SHEAMUS pass out from the acolyte on top of the barrels, but ultimately RUSEV's able to get out of it. SHEAMUS able to get out of it, and SHEAMUS hits a white noise from the top of the barrels all the way through the 2 tables outside of the ring. Got a holy shit chant. It was crazy. Cool spot, cool visual. Once again, these guys are beating up, brutalizing each other for our entertainment. It was actually pretty tough. SHEAMUS hits a bro kick as RUSEV is picking up the shillelagh as he gets back into the ring. Beautiful bro kick, close 2 count. Very close, well, close 3 count. It was like almost there, like 2.99. Crowd was shocked. Great near fall there. And then this is where we get to pretty much the ending of the match. RUSEV ends up hitting SHEAMUS with the shillelagh. It breaks. So then RUSEV ends up getting SHEAMUS in the acolyte, but then he wrenches all the way back and has the shillelagh in SHEAMUS' mouth, and SHEAMUS is forced to tap. And I don't know if this stat is true. I think Michael Cole said either this was his first or second time ever really tapping out in WWE history. So correct me if I'm wrong on that. But basically, SHEAMUS doesn't really tap out, and he tapped out. And honestly, in my preview and predictions, I said I'm okay with either SHEAMUS winning or RUSEV winning, but I went with RUSEV winning. I'm okay with RUSEV winning. He got the win there. This was a really hard-fought match. I think honestly that may be the end of the feud. I don't think they need to go any further than this. This was actually pretty entertaining, and RUSEV got the better of him. So it's going to be interesting to see where they take RUSEV going forward. Honestly, maybe if they have something, I know Dominic's supposed to be facing AJ Styles. They could have a great moment where AJ Styles wins on Monday Night Raw, and you could set up something with like AJ versus RUSEV for the IC title. I think that would actually be pretty good. I think that would be a good feud for them to have. So we'll see how things play out. But overall, best match of the night. If you haven't had a chance to watch the show, go watch that show. I think you guys would definitely, not the show, go watch that match. I think y'all will enjoy the match. It was really good. Now, we got to talk about John Cena versus Logan Paul. Now, this one was really fun. They actually tried to really show out in this match. Shout out once again to the people out there in France, man. Y'all killed it, bro. People out there, in Paris, bro. Like, y'all killed it, bro. Like, y'all energy when John Cena came out there, goosebump inducing. Like, the people were going insane singing this song. I thought that was tough. I didn't even know this was a stat, but apparently John Cena has 98 wins in WWE, like, PLEs. I mean, obviously it used to be called pay-per-views, but he has 98 wins. Well, obviously tonight he ends up with 99. This was a fun match. This was a match where they were pulling out other wrestlers' moves. Like, they were pulling out the zigzag. I think Logan Paul hit the zigzag on John Cena. John Cena ends up hitting a end of days on Logan Paul. Logan Paul tries to submit John Cena with the octopus. The octopus, if y'all know what I'm referencing, y'all already know the infamous, I think AJ Lee was using that move and Michael Cole would call it the octopus. I mean, Logan Paul was doing that. Like, they were really tapping into other wrestlers' bags. It wasn't the 5 moves of dooms this time. It was the 20 moves of other people's dooms. Like, it was actually pretty cool to see that. Was there some little miscues and it was sloppy at some point? I wouldn't say sloppy, but it was miscues. There were some things that wasn't fluid, but it was still, pretty entertaining. The crowd was into it. Logan even mocking John Cena, hitting him with the shoulder tackles as well. But ultimately, Logan cockiness got the best of him. Oh, I even forgot to mention, John Cena hit the Styles Clash. That got a huge pop. Hit the Styles Clash on Logan Paul. Thought that was actually pretty cool. But ultimately, John ended up hitting 2 back-to-back AAs on Logan Paul for the win. And it looks like John Cena is going to be moving on forward to face Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza. So now he has 99 wins in his total WWE career at a PLE or a pay-per-view. Go ahead, add that 100th win to your repertoire, John Cena, when you beat Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza. And finally, we got the Fatal 4-Way match. Now, here's the thing. They started off this match with a segment backstage. You see, I think Jackie Redmond was trying to get an interview with Seth, and Seth was like, look, bro, I'm good. I always have a plan B. I don't need division. If I can't win by myself, then I don't deserve to win at all. I don't deserve to be the World Heavyweight Champion. Well, we know, I guess he doesn't deserve to be the World Heavyweight Champion because he didn't win by himself. But we knew that was going to play out. The question was, how was he going to retain? Was there going to be a new member? A speculation. A lot of people were speculating a new member. Was somebody going to return? Was there going to be an attack? Who knows? But we knew Seth had some type of plan up his sleeve. Crowd was electric for everyone's entrance when Jay came out there. Beautiful, it's just a beautiful sight to see everyone just yeeting with the lights and stuff. Just a stadium full of individuals going crazy for Jey Uso. I thought that was actually pretty cool. CM Punk, they were singing his song. LA Knight was getting some love. And of course, Seth Rollins himself was getting a lot of love with the whoa, whoa. Like, you knew that was going to happen. So, they start off the match. And Seth, being the smart person, he kind of just lets everyone just go at each other. Because CM Punk immediately kicks Jey Uso in the face. Kind of a callback from what happened to him on the Go Home show from Monday Night Raw. He kind of got his lick back. So they all start fighting each other. Seth is just picking his spots, once he waits, he gets in the ring and then he starts stomping out everybody. And it was like that early on in the match where Seth is just picking his spots until finally they realize, hey, let's work together. They all surround him. They start beating him up. Then they get him into the corner, start stomping him. Someone else pulls, I think CM Punk would pull LA Knight out the way. LA Knight would pull CM Punk out the way. And Jay is over there like, hey, bro, can we just work together on whooping his ass? So at that point, they do the whole Devon get the table spot, what the Dudleys we used to say. They go ahead and get a table from under the ring. They about to set it up. I'm like, all right, we about to go ahead and put Seth through this table because that would make the most logical sense. Let's eliminate him, incapacitate him, and let's focus on each other, and we'll have a guaranteed new champion. Nope, that didn't happen because Jay said, nah, fuck that, gotta get my lick back, and super kicks, or I wouldn't call it a super kick, I guess you could call it a super kick, but he kicks CM Punk in the face on the outside. I was like, oh, well, there we go. There we go. And basically, that was the story of the match. These guys keep getting in each other's way so much that they have the prime opportunity to pack up Seth Rollins. He has officially no help at this point, and they won't do it because they keep going at each other, which I get it, it's a fatal four-way. That's what you're supposed to do. But if all three of these guys hate him so much, it would make sense to just throw him to beat him up to oblivion, and then y'all work together. Well, y'all work together to beat him up, and then y'all go at it. They'll guarantee a new champion, but that didn't happen. So, towards the end of the match, LA Knight, oh no, it's Seth Rollins and CM Punk. They're on the ring apron. Somebody's trying to go through that table, the Slim Jim table on the outside. It looks like Seth is going to put him through. It looks like CM Punk's going to put him through. But ultimately, Seth ends up getting back in the ring, and LA Knight has an opportunity to take out Seth. But nope, all he does, he beelines for CM Punk, pushes him, and he falls through the table, even though the table didn't break all the way. And he hit the shrug like CM Punk did, kind of, once again, a callback to a couple Raws ago where CM Punk accidentally pushed LA Knight off the ropes through the table. This time, it was definitely on purpose by LA Knight. So, after that, we get to LA Knight and Seth Rollins. They're outside of the ring. They're outside of the ring by the ring announcer table, clearing off the furniture like the monitors and the cables, and he sets up Seth Rollins onto the table. And this is after he didn't repeatedly bash Seth Rollins' head onto the announce table multiple times. And I think he did the same thing to Jey Uso as well. He's going to the top rope, and he's basically going to do the elbow drop from the top rope all the way to the announcer's table where Seth is laying, motionless. But then Jey Uso gets involved, tries to knock him off. LA Knight kicks off Jey Uso off the ring apron, and as LA Knight jumps from the ring, Seth Rollins moves at the last minute, and LA Knight crashes and burns through the announce table. So LA Knight's done. GG, throw up the X for LA Knight. So at this point, Seth is in. He's in his mode. He's locked in. It looks like Seth is potentially about to get the win here. It got to a point where you have CM Punk in the ring, and he's kind of, he's not in a good situation. And I like this part of the match because it just reinforced how much they hate each other. Seth is like, bro, you will never touch the World Heavyweight Championship. You'll never be a champion. I don't want you here. I hate you. I hate you. I hate your family. I hate everything that you're about. And pay attention to the family part, because that's very important. It's going to play into what happens at the end of the match. But he's basically saying, I'm going to take you out once and for all. So Seth gets out the ring. He goes, but before he actually goes, he gets a chair, gets in the ring. He sees Jay on the outside of the ring in the perfect position, hits him with the curb stomp. Jay's done. Then he sees LA Knight stirring on the announce table, the broken announce table, hits him with the curb stomp. Then he's done. So now, as he gets back into the ring, he puts the chair there. CM Punk, his head is between the chair. He's about to hit him with the curb stomp through the chair to end CM Punk's career. And as he goes for the stomp, CM Punk moves out the way. Seth's leg goes through the chair. Now he's selling the chair to injury, and that's how he's able to get Seth onto his shoulder, hits him with the GTS. Seth stumbles back on the ropes, gets him back on it. Seth falls onto his shoulders again, and Punk is smiling, he's smirking, because he knows it's over. Seth is done. He's about to hit him with the second GTS, but I guess he was gloating a little bit too long, because as he's about to hit the GTS, you see someone in a black hoodie give CM Punk the low blow. And as he falls to the ground, the person takes their hoodie off. You didn't even really need to see them take the hoodie off, because you instantly knew who it was by how their body was shaped. It was like you could tell it was a woman. It was none other than Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch comes out there and essentially saves her husband from losing the match. And as CM Punk is trying to stir around, the chair is still in the ring. Seth runs, hits the curb stomp on CM Punk onto the steel chair for the 1, 2, 3, and Seth Rollins is still your world heavyweight champion. And as the show goes off the air, you see Seth and Becky Lynch, they embrace each other, they kiss, and they're gloating, they talking they trash. And it starts to create buzz online, because apparently at this point, AJ Lee was trending on Twitter, because the story that they were set up here would only make sense if AJ Lee was to be able to return. And what makes this even more plausible, after the show goes off, they're showing the ad, they're about to set up for the post show and stuff. And CM Punk, he's selling it. He's delirious. He's falling outside the ring. He sees the table. He flips it over. He jumps through the table so it completely breaks all the way through. Shout out to you, CM Punk, for being a great Samaritan doing that. So as he's walking up the rampway, he sees someone with a sign that says AJ Lee, CM Punk and AJ Lee. And then the people that are talking, like Big E, and everyone else on the wrestling panel, they're actively talking about maybe AJ Lee is going to have to get involved in this, because CM Punk family was called out. And this is why I said the line where Seth said, "I hate your family," that makes sense. It makes sense even more now that family got involved on the behalf of Seth Rollins. And as CM Punk seen the sign, he got the sign, he looked at it, he hit a little bit of a and gave the sign back. I ain't gonna lie to you, that may be the route they're going for WrestlePalooza. If you're trying to make this PLE the biggest PLE possible, since it's going to be the first PLE on the ESPN app, on streaming on ESPN as well, you want this to be the biggest possible show. They already going to have Brock Lesnar and John Cena there. What other way to do that? To get AJ Lee to make her WWE return and be involved in this match and set up a mixed tag match between AJ Lee and Becky Lynch versus CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Both guys, both these individuals, or these group of people, they're married and they have history, and you could tell a good story, because a lot of people consider AJ Lee is the forefront of the women's revolution, and Becky's on this high, claiming herself to be the greatest women's wrestler of all time. And obviously, CM Punk and Seth history, that's just, ingrained, you know what I'm saying? So it makes sense they're going to do a mixed tag match, because obviously CM Punk can't get his hands on Becky Lynch, but AJ can. And once again, Seth did make it very clear. He said he hates his family too. So I'm thinking that's the route they're probably going to go to really hype up WrestlePalooza, to have AJ Lee come back. So we will see how that play out. Overall, for me, the match, even though it did make sense that Becky would be the one to help, initially it was anticlimactic because I was thinking maybe it was going to be a new member. But when I really sit back and think about it, it makes sense. Who would be there? Paul Heyman's gone. He's hurt. And Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, they're both out the building. The only other person that would have his back would be Becky, you know? So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I know initially a lot of people in the chat wasn't a big fan of how it initially ended because I'm guessing a lot of people was expecting someone else to be involved. But with the story that they most likely are going to start telling and getting AJ Lee to come back, I'm okay with it. It makes sense. So, but overall, I enjoyed this show. If I had to give this show a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna probably give it a cool 7. This was like a 7.5. The crowd was a 10 out of 10. You guys were amazing once again out there. Shout out to everyone that was out there and really showing love. You guys did your thing. This is what it's all about. You know, when WWE comes to these foreign shows, the people that pay the crazy amount of money that they pay, they give their energy. They give everything they have because I'm sure they spent a lot to get there. Apparently, they broke a stadium record there because I think Taylor Swift was there at one point and they broke a gate record. They beat Taylor Swift's record from last year. And if you're beating Taylor Swift in ticket sales, that's when you know you're really cooking. So at the end of the day, TKO is the real winner. But shout out to everyone out there in Paris, France. I don't think they was actually in Paris, the city, but still shout out to everyone out there. You guys did your thing. I really enjoyed, for the most part, Clash in Paris. This was actually entertaining. The fans out there was great. We had some good matches, some really great matches, some matches that could have definitely been on Monday Night Raw too. So it was a mixture, but overall, I'll give this show 7 out of 10. But hey, comment down below. Let me know what you rate the show on a scale of 1 to 10. What was your favorite match? What was your least favorite match? And let me know if you guys are looking forward to Monday Night Raw tomorrow. But I appreciate all love, support. Road to 150K. Appreciate y'all kicking with me. See you on the next one. Peace.